Court does call the case, People versus Darius Harris.
Bridget Coons on behalf of Mr. Harris. State your name for the record.
Darius Harris.
Your Honor, this time and date set up for sentencing. I have reviewed the pre-sentence investigation with the client. We have no material changes, additions, or omissions. At this time, we would ask the court to adopt the recommendation.
Sir, is there anything you'd like to tell me before I do impose sentence?
Yes, sir. I just want to say to the court, prosecutor, I appreciate taking your time out. When I first came up here, I don't know if you remember, I told you I wasn't trying, I was guilty. Not a bad person or a bad guy. Everybody got a pass, but I just think a racial slur directed to me got under my skin and got the best of me. Apologize about wasting your time because that's something I could have handled better, but it just got under my skin. I truly apologize.
I think I told you I didn't think of you necessarily as a bad person.
I just at the moment I work so hard coming from my family tree, my grandfather, things of that nature. Still no excuse. Supposed to have to conduct yourself in a certain way in public. I work hard not to be called that. I work hard not to be looked upon that. I'm a very smart young man. I'm a CNC programmer and CNC operator. But when I was called that, it just kind of got under my skin. But that's not the way you handle stuff, and I understand that. And I know that. Just not the way you handle it.
You knew that before it happened.
And I just let it get under my skin. Wasn't
Yeah.
the right way.
And I'll just say this to you. You know, when I took this position probably almost a quarter century ago, God, that sounds weird. Emily was here with me. She was 5. But you just, one of the things I learned real quick, and I knew it because of how I was raised, people are going to call you all kinds of things, right? And so I just developed this saying in my mind: you can call me whatever you want as long as you call it with respect, right? I don't let those words and those things get under my skin. And the reason is because whoever is saying that to me doesn't know me. And the only way, right? And you know what I'm saying, right?
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And since you don't know me, you can't really say that about me. And the only way I let that get under my skin is if at any given moment I begin to think that about myself, and I will never, ever think that about myself.
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling you, young man, don't ever let that get under your skin, because that's not you.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
You weren't raised that way. And I dare say this, because I know it. Your ancestry does not dictate that that's you.
Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yes, sir.
And I know your people told you that too. So all I'm doing is repeating everything they told you. Right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm just sharing with you what my mama taught me. And she was the smartest woman in the world, ever, always was, and always will be. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Because you don't need to be here. Right? No, I know. But you don't need to be here. Not for something like this. We're better people than that.
Yes, sir.
It's really simple. Sense of the court. I'm changing this a little bit. Sense of the court. I'm going to place you on 6 months prosecutor deferred sentence. I'm going to order $555 fines and court costs. I'm waiving all of those costs except 125 of those costs. Probation oversight fees would then be reduced because of the probationary period to $180. When do you think you can get all that paid, young man?
I was trying to pay it today. My check and direct deposit first thing in the morning. I get paid tomorrow.
Get it paid by this Friday, the 1st.
Sir.
There should be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. Should be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You are to complete an anger management class. You're to do that within 60 days. You're not to have any contact, no assault or threatening or intimidating behavior. You're not to possess any weapon, firearm, ammunition, or anything fashioned to be a weapon. You're to report to probation as directed by probation, including any home visits. You're to maintain employment with verification to probation. I'll set a review hearing that's to be held February 12th, 2000. Well, actually, that's going to change the day. Miss Clara.
Oh, 6 months, sorry, Your Honor.
It's okay. The review date will be August 14th, 2024, 9 a.m. I'll order 93 days in jail that is suspended. Out there, just act like the prince that you are, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Work on getting that. You'll have that right here before you leave the court, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I have a request. Is it possible to have a mutual no contact order? Because my client and his wife is outside, by the way. He's so scared that to the point that he wants to move out and go to a different city.
Okay, but here's the thing, I don't have any,
every day
sir,
by these people.
sir. I do not have any authority over complaining witnesses in a case. I can't give a mutual restraining order. I don't have the power to do that. I have no authority over the complainants in this case. I mean, obviously, if there's some harassment going on or some other issues, I think you call law enforcement. But you're the individual charged with in this case. These are just allegations. You have a right to trial, you have a right to be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. All of those things apply. I'm sure your attorney has discussed those rights with you. We will make sure that this case moves through the system. I mean, it's in everybody's best interest while cases like this are pending because the situations are always volatile. It's an assaultive allegation that everybody stay away from everybody. Okay, but I don't have authority over complainants in the case. I only have jurisdiction over Mr. Martinez. Counsel, if you just want to have a seat real quick, we'll have the court officer make you a copy of this order for discovery so that you can get discovery as soon as possible. And we will see everyone back in about 30 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
1 second. Just a second, and if you could just make him a copy of that top page, officer. All right. And then when the parties leave, if the complaining witnesses on this case, if you want to excuse yourself now and go out and you can get in your cars and leave, and then we'll just have Mr. Martinez wait a minute or two, and that way there are no issues in the lot, okay? All right. Yes.
Say something. He walks my friend in my house all the time with the dog. There's no reason for him to do that. He could go either way, but does it to provoke me and say things.
All right, you two have got to be living in the same
We're
neighborhood.
across the street.
Listen.
He just gave me the finger when we were out there, when I was sitting down.
Listen, I want you to talk to the prosecutor.
Okay.
Listen,
I will.
this is unfortunate because you guys have to live near each other,
Mhm.
right? And I don't know if you're homeowners or what. Listen to me, ma'am. Listen, first you have to say your name for the record.
My name's Irma Hurden.
Okay, listen. If he lives right across the street, he's got to exit and enter his house, right? Don't go listen, Mr. Martinez, everyone do your best to stay away from the other side. Don't flip each other off. Don't talk to each other. Don't look at each other, okay? That's all I can tell you. But I won't have the volatility in my courtroom. This is when I say my courtroom, it's the people's courtroom. This is your courtroom. Everybody's entitled to have due process and a hearing, and whether it's a trial or you know, depending on a formal hearing, depending on what type of hearing it is, everyone has a right to be heard, but I'm not going to tolerate, you know,
Right.
everybody has to deal with each other. If you live that close to each other, that's all I can tell you. Don't go near each other. Avoid each other. Like you have the plague or the other person has it.
I got a question. Now, when I walk my dog and he's following me, sneaking up, with his lights off, coming behind me, so what do I do? What am I gonna do about that? You're
Stay,
right here.
no, calm down. Sir, you were in a courtroom. Listen to me. You guys calm down. Stay away from each other. You're gonna end up with everybody charged. You're gonna end up with things like this, get the volatility, it's gonna just escalate. Sit, calm, listen, I'm telling you all, stay away from each other. Don't look at each other. Don't follow each other. Don't talk to each other. Don't breathe near each other. Both sides. Got it? All right,
Yes.
we're all set. I'm gonna ask the complainant witnesses to exit, and that way there are no issues in the courtroom.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
This courtroom hearing begins as a formal sentencing proceeding in People versus Darius Harris, but what unfolds becomes far more than a routine imposition of penalties. It transforms into a powerful exchange about self-control, identity, dignity, and the long-term consequences of letting anger dictate behavior. The defendant stands before the court having accepted responsibility in an assault-related matter, and his attorney informs the judge that the pre-sentence investigation report has been reviewed with no corrections or objections. The defense requests that the court adopt its recommendations, signaling that sentencing, not trial, is now the focus before the sentence is imposed. The judge gives Mr. Harris an opportunity to speak. What follows is not defiance but reflection. The defendant explains that the incident stemmed from a racial slur directed at him, words that he says penetrated deeply and triggered a reaction he now regrets. He does not deny his conduct. Instead, he acknowledges that while the insult angered him, he understands that responding physically was the wrong choice. He describes himself as a hardworking CNC programmer and operator, a man who has worked tirelessly to rise above stereotypes and expectations. He emphasizes that he does not see himself as a bad person, only someone who allowed a moment of anger to override better judgment. His apology is directed not only to the court for wasting its time, but also as an admission that he failed to conduct himself in the disciplined manner he knows he is capable of maintaining. The judge's response shifts the atmosphere from simple sentencing to mentorship. Drawing on decades of experience on the bench, the judge shares a personal philosophy. People will say many things in life, but words only carry power if you allow them to define you. He explains that he long ago learned not to let insults penetrate his sense of self-worth. According to the court, the only time words truly harm is when one begins to believe them internally. The judge reminds Mr. Harris that his ancestry, upbringing, and family legacy do not reflect the derogatory label used against him. In a calm but firm tone, he tells the young man that reacting violently to provocation diminishes the strength he claims to embody. The courtroom becomes less about punishment and more about accountability grounded in self-respect. Despite the encouraging tone, the legal consequences remain real. The judge imposes a 6-month deferred sentence, meaning that successful compliance could prevent a lasting conviction. Financial penalties totaling $555 are assessed, though the court waives a significant portion of costs, reducing the immediate burden. 93 days in jail are suspended, hanging over the defendant as a consequence should he violate probation terms. The conditions are detailed and structured. No use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or illegal substances. Submission to random testing. Completion of anger management classes within 60 days. No assaultive, threatening, or intimidating behavior. No possession of weapons. Continued employment with verification. And full compliance with probation supervision, including potential home visits. A review hearing is scheduled 6 months later, reinforcing that the court will actively monitor compliance. However, the hearing does not conclude quietly. Defense counsel requests a mutual no-contact order, explaining that tensions between Mr. Harris and the complaining witnesses remain volatile, with both parties living in close proximity. The judge clarifies a critical legal limitation. The court only has jurisdiction over the defendant, not the complaining witnesses. While urging both sides to avoid one another entirely, The judge cannot issue a restraining order against individuals who are not defendants in the case. What follows is a brief but tense exchange as members of both sides speak out about alleged provocations, gestures, following behavior, and ongoing hostility in their shared neighborhood. At this point, the judge's tone sharpens. He reminds everyone that the courtroom is a place of due process, not confrontation. He firmly instructs both sides to avoid each other like the plague, emphasizing that continued escalation will only result in further charges and deeper legal trouble. The message is unmistakable. Proximity does not excuse volatility, and maturity requires restraint even when tensions persist outside the courtroom walls. By the end of the proceeding, the central lesson becomes clear. This case is not solely about an assault allegation. It is about the discipline required to walk away from provocation. The court offers Mr. Harris a path forward, structured supervision rather than incarceration, but that path depends entirely on his ability to control his reactions and uphold the standards he claims to live by. The suspended jail time remains a looming consequence, a reminder that second chances are conditional, not guaranteed. What began as a sentencing hearing ultimately becomes a broader reflection on dignity, identity, and the responsibility that comes with self-respect. The judge's message echoes beyond the courtroom. Strength is not proven through retaliation, but through restraint. The outcome now rests on whether the defendant can embody the composure the court believes he is capable of demonstrating. If you want to see more real courtroom moments, where a single decision can shape a person's future and reveal how justice balances accountability with opportunity, make sure to subscribe, and follow for more powerful legal stories that uncover how the system truly works behind the scenes.